Writer Anne Northrup said, "Don't tolerate me as being different, but accept me as part of the spectrum of normalcy." Today, we see that because of the political climate surrounding healthcare and dialogue around it, often being a woman turns into a pre-existing condition because of the restrictions that are enforced by the law. What I want to do is I want to persuade you today to take a greater interest, be more activist, learn more about, and take a greater interest in women's healthcare. The reason I want you to do this is because even if, no matter what your political orientation is, or what you believe the right answer to healthcare should be, this is something that will affect you or somebody that you love. Now, I'm going to give you 2 reasons why you should learn more about women's healthcare and be more proactive about it, and then I'm going to give you 3 actions that you can take to be more proactive in your stance. Then I'm going to give you the benefit to doing this. Now, the first reason I want to do this is I want you to be more proactive about women's healthcare, is that currently we see that this, the policies surrounding healthcare right now disproportionately impact women of color, immigrant women, and people who identify as LGBTQ, which means sometimes healthcare for them is disproportionately or so out of reach that they can't access healthcare at all. According to a study, an article published in the Planned Parenthood Action Fund on May 26, 2017, immigrant women, LGBT people who identify as LGBTQ, and often women of color sometimes can't access healthcare at all because of their income and where they live. This is really important because sometimes it means that healthcare itself, just accessing healthcare in terms of cancer screenings or just birth control, can sometimes bankrupt you if you don't have the right insurance. I feel really strongly about this, and this makes me really angry, because if this doesn't work out, then people can be stuck into cycles of poverty through no fault of their own and just because they're sick, and they shouldn't be blamed for their own illness. The second reason I want to persuade you to do this is that a lot of the time we see the current global climate, it's more dangerous for women's healthcare than it's been in a long while, right? So, for example, we see now, according to an article in the American Constitution Society of Law and Policy, the article says that currently the American Health Care Act, which replaces Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act, currently affects women's healthcare through restrictions such as the global gag rule, which means foreign funding cannot speak about abortion as an option for women's health. It talks about things like restricting or defunding Planned Parenthood, which is where a lot of people of low income and women of color tend to get their health care. And third, it restricts the regulations around pre-existing conditions. This means everything from maternity care to birth control to even menopause or menstruation, irregular periods, things like that. All of these can be considered pre-existing conditions. This makes me really angry too, right? Because all this does is it enforces discrimination, and it means that healthcare is more expensive for one gender, or people who identify as LGBTQ, or people who have these sort of conditions, than it does for everybody else. This violates health equity, and this should be something that everybody is concerned about. Now, the 3 actions that you can take to help with this is, first, be proactive in educating yourself. Find out more about this, seek out sources, read up regularly on this, and keep abreast of the latest developments in all of these fields. This is important because it's not until you can do that you can truly know exactly what's going on and participate fully as within society and politically. The second action you can take is you can tell others about it. For example, giving speeches in a classroom, or just joining organizations on campus, telling people what's going on right now because they may not have the time or the resources to find out themselves. And the third thing you can do, and this is the most important, is to be more active in terms of civic responsibility. This can be anything from engaging in advocacy, writing to your representatives, just calling them up, or even voting, whether it's in the midterms elections coming up or in 2020. Make sure that all of your representatives have a stance on healthcare and they're very clear about what they want to do. The benefit to this, I think, is that when you create discourse, whether it's on a social level when you just meet someone, or whether it's through your representatives, it can help create the national debate. This means that you raise the costs both socially and politically of ignorance and discrimination. So we can't let people get away with it. In conclusion, I feel that this is something really important, because this is something we're all going to be affected by, just whether we are affected by it or people we know are, people we love and care about. And I think that this is the time to fight against discrimination is now, and one of the only ways you can do it is if you take a proactive stance against these issues. As Alan Northrop said, it shouldn't be that being a woman or being LGBTQ or a woman of color is a pre-existing condition, and we have to do more to help them access healthcare. Thank you.
Thank you. What was the time?
5:16.
5:16. Wow, perfect. Well, I guess we'll start here today.
Hi, I'm Alan.
Hi, Alan.
Something I enjoyed actually with the speech is your connectivity to the topic. It kind of felt like you really did care about the topic. You could feel the emotion on it, and it showed towards the audience. So it's something, if you're personally connected, committed to that topic as well, it just shows it, makes it speak better.
Yes, it does. And one of the things that I've counseled Vidya, both in class and on the debating team, is she's a little too cerebral and analytical, and sometimes a little pathos and some stories and some feelings help make the speech act more compelling. Not excessively, but more compelling. Yes, please.
Hi, I'm Danny.
Hi, Danny.
I also really liked your speech. I liked the topic and stuff. The only thing I would say is just you said "like" a lot, when it wasn't really necessary. And not even as a crutch word, sometimes you just kind of threw it in there. So just kind of watch out for that. But otherwise, I thought it was really, really great.
Well, that's the beauty of videotaping and seeing yourself on YouTube. You can see those repetitions and mannerisms. I want to first point out where you're standing. You ended up almost to the back of the classroom, almost to the screen. And that suggests a little bit of fear of the audience. And you want to come forward, at least to the green light, even more forward. And when you're in a debate context, if the podium is way back, don't be afraid to move it up forward, because the less distance you have between you and the decision makers, the more chances you have to be connected. Because if just talk to me, start talking to me about your morning, and slowly back out the door. And everyone watch, and you see what I mean. Tell us about your morning, and slowly back out the door.
Well, I overslept. And just like that, just keep that. Well, I overslept. I was almost late to class, but I made it just in time. Then I fell asleep in class, and then I woke up, got some coffee, and then I managed to come here.
Keep going. Now talk from there now. Tell us more about your morning.
Well, it wasn't as sunny as I thought it would be.
Now, do you feel the difference when she's further back, how it's less compelling? We want to get in our audience's faces without breaking their body bubble. So remember that. And remember, are you sick?
Sorry, no.
If you are, there are many other seats in the classroom you can take. Okay, yeah.
That was a light touch.
I don't want to get sick. So, you don't break the body bubble, but you want to be as close as possible. And that makes you more effective. You're the king or queen of the environment, so if you come into a room and there's a podium askew on the left, move it over to the center. Move it up close. I've seen some students even abandon the podium and come up to the first row of chairs and put their notes there. Bob Dole's wife was a tremendous speaker, but she would break the iron curtain, shall we say, the moat, and she would come out and speak in the audience, Elizabeth Dole. And if you ever go to C-SPAN or YouTube and see some of her speeches, she's amazing, because she'll be walking in the room and she'll say stuff like this, this is real important to me, because you're sitting there with Elizabeth Dole in your face, and it was very powerful and very effective. Again, it goes to that sticky thing that now I hope we all are aware of, about having something unexpected happen in your speech that will grab attention and hold it and draw it and bring people in. Okay, so people liked your speech, thought you had more passion. I would say yes. I would say don't lose that feeling. Bring it up even a little bit more. Who be Ann Northrop?
She's this writer and activist who speaks about women's issues.
Tell us that. Tell your audience that. Qualify your source, everyone, so they have credibility. Otherwise, Ann Northrop could be a homeless lady from Venice. On the next issue here, your thesis was fine and your significant statement was fine. You quoted the arguments from authority perfectly, and I want you to all notice how she did it. She said, Planned Parenthood website, May 26, 2017. So she told us where the information came from and that it was recent. So that was very good, and you made a case for this. Now, this is where, and I realize that your time you would have to cut a little, but this is a speech that really begs for a story. And I will tell you, as I hate to bore everybody with this, but when I was writing the screenplay for Listen to Me, that great motion picture that you can all watch on Amazon Prime, and I'll earn a quarter royalty. When we were writing about Planned Parenthood and abortion and this sort of thing, one of the things that we realized that we had to do was to be careful, to be sensitive to every side, but we realized after one of our original scripts, some of the feedback we got from the studio is, you have too many statistics and facts that are cold. Where's the human story? I go, yeah. So I went down to some abortion clinics and talked to some people and got some stories. And I don't know if you remember in the film when Roy Scheider told the story of his mother having an abortion. That is an example of what I mean by not making up a story, but finding a story and presenting it. Because there are human stories that are horrible. And really what you're talking about, Vidya, is women are locked into biological bondage. If they're forced to have a child they don't want, and when you have a child you don't want, there are all kinds of societal consequences as well. Right? Yeah. Your second reason from the American Constitution Society for Law and Policy, good research, remember to put in the date. I loved the global gag rule and these other draconian things that are coming down now. And I love these, when you, it helped you, didn't it, to say, I feel angry about this. This is so wrong. And work yourself up about that, and that's good. Your concrete actions were consistent with what you were proposing. That was good. And your benefits were good. Toward the end, when you watch yourself tonight on TV, not just the likes, but I prefer you to have a summary that's so stated as I've given you 2 reasons and 3 actions and a lot of benefits why you should really pay attention to women's reproductive rights issues. You know, and there should be no doubt in this room. Pay attention. Be activist. Be an activist. Okay. Your canais have voice modulation, speak slower, and employ pathos effectively. How'd it go?
I think it went better than last time.
Yes, it did.
There's room for improvement still.
There's always room for improvement.
Yeah, just in terms of...
Except for Jesus.
Yeah.
We all can improve, right?
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah. I thought you had a pretty simple message, Vidya. I would have played with the wording a little bit to make it a little more sexy. Unexpected? What was unexpected in this speech?
It was just the scope of the issue right now, and also like the initial quote. I thought it was interesting to shift that from something that's more general to specifically about women's healthcare.
Okay. I would urge you and everyone in the class to not be afraid to be a little radical and break out of the box to get the unexpected in your speech. Walk up, break the bubble, walk around. I've delivered lectures from the back of the classroom just to break the monotony of standing at the podium in my 102 class. And it worked very well. It was very different, but what the fuck, it's back there. So what I'm saying is don't be afraid to be creative. Now, your credibility was good. You're very credible as a person. We all know you're a very serious person, so that works. You cited very serious and good sources, and it wasn't just a website. And, I went to a website and lived happily ever after. So that was good. I didn't think it was too abstract. You kept it concrete. My only trouble, as I said in the overview, was stories. Collect stories, find stories. Just pretend that you have to have stories in every speech you make for the rest of your life. Okay? Thank you. I'm not sure. I'll let you know in a minute. It's a free country. People are dying in Syria, so you have freedom. You forgot the Constitution? Oh yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, you want to be excused? Yeah. Oh, you want some green energy?
If you want it, I can go now.
No, thank you. Very nice. Okay. Will the mystery guest sign in, please? Okay. I heard a volunteer. Who would that be? Alan. Hang on a minute. What's your last name, Alan? Okay.
Speech and then something else.
He needs the green meaning. Okay, can you guys do this mating ritual later? Pay attention to this kind of thing. Okay, good. Alan stands before you, managing the tension. Oh, he's a party animal today. Wow. Great shirt. Yeah. What does that communicate? Finding friendly eyes near the front and the center. She's gone. Say your name. Feel the love. Start your speech.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alan.
Hi, Alan.
It was my first speech and debate practice. I was in a room of strangers, and they wanted to test out my skills. So I had to argue that Draco Malfoy from the Harry Potter series was more evil than Voldemort himself. Now, to most, this seems ridiculous, but I went up there and said, Voldemort only knew a life of evil. Draco, in the first 6 books, knew what was good. He could have helped Harry, but chose evil. And the person given the choice was actually more evil than the one who wasn't given a choice. I won that debate, and ever since, I have been personally involved in debate. And that is why today, I want to persuade all of you to participate in debate. I will give you 2 reasons why, 3 actions that you should do, and what you will benefit by participating in debate. My first reason why everybody should participate in debate is because my significant theme. Participating in debate will challenge your own pre-existing notions of the world. It will develop skills that otherwise are constantly ignored.
Every single one of us here today knows the importance of public speaking, and that's why we're taking this class. And debating only further enhances those skills. The first reason why we should all participate in debate is because it challenges our pre-existing notions of this world. C.S. Lewis, famous theologian and author of the Chronicles of Narnia, is famously quoted saying that no belief, no faith is so unreal, so divine as that has been challenged in a public debate. What this means is that the beliefs, the faiths, all these notions that we have are only true if we've successfully debated them or if they've been in clash with another belief. I recall being in the speech and debate team, and the majority of them were actually communists, funny story, and they were trying to convince me that capitalism was the root of all evil. And my political beliefs stem from my ability to defend capitalism against communism to this day. So my own political beliefs, my own religious beliefs that were challenged or ultimately grew stronger because of the debate. The second reason why I urge you all to participate in debate is because it develops skills that are otherwise ignored. Former Secretary of Education Arne Duncan under Barack Obama talked about how participating in debate develops the 5 C's. First, it develops communication. It allows you to hear criticism, hear feedback, deliver criticism, deliver feedback, and this communication improves just your overall speaking skills. It improves on creativity, thinking outside the box, being able to talk about ideas like Draco Malfoy being more evil than Voldemort. Third is collaboration. You learn to work with others when you participate in debate. Even the person you are debating against, you learn to have a mutual respect for one another, being able to listen to their beliefs. Fourth is critical thinking. As Professor Miller says, it's the BS detector that goes in your mind when you hear evidence. You hear some sort of information, and it's the mental process that you listen to and then you judge the information on. The fifth thing that Arne Duncan talks about, and maybe the most important, is civic engagement and awareness. Participating in debate leads you to be involved in important issues and will in turn have you be more involved politically. Now that I have told you 2 reasons why you should all participate in debate, I'll tell you 3 actions you can do. The first is the most important, and that is to have an open mind. Especially on this campus, where the other day I literally saw a poster of a Bruin Republican on a wall, and next to it was a sign that said, "How to be an asshole 101." Now, we can disagree with Republican beliefs, but if without an open mind, without an exchanging of ideas, there is no way that you can convince the other side your points. If you were so quick to call the person stupid, ignorant, racist, any of these things, then you can't have that discussion, which is important. The second action you can do, which is a lot easier, is to take Professor Miller's Comm 102 class about argumentation. For starters, it's a lot easier than this class because there is no 24-page paper, and for half of the quarter, all you do is debate against your other classmates, most of the time leading to an easy A, but he didn't hear that. It's a great class, and I have learned a lot about argumenting and debating from that class. Finally, the third action that you can take is to just debate with your family and friends. Anytime your family talks about how the good old days were, say, where's the evidence for that? You always talk about that, but show me your evidence. And then most of the time, they don't actually have evidence. They're like, oh, I just remember it being like that. Argumentation and debate always gets a bad rep, as if arguing is a bad thing. But in reality, arguing is important for the exchangement of ideas. So that's why I urge you all to participate in debate. I have told you why, I've given you 2 reasons why you should all participate in debate, 3 actions, and now I'm going to finish it off with telling you some benefits. For starters, if you take Miller's class, you get an easy A, so that's one benefit. You develop skills that are otherwise ignored, and more importantly, you get a better understanding of yourself. You have those notions and beliefs being reaffirmed because you've successfully defended them in public debate. There should be no doubt in this room that you should all participate in debate, and now that I've convinced you all that Draco Malfoy is eviler than Voldemort, the next topic of debate is Professor Miller more evil than Draco Malfoy? Thank you all.
5:54. Pretty long-winded. Okay. Were you here for the whole speech?
Make sure you take the transcript.
And up for Buddha?
Hi, my name is Moses.
Hi, Moses!
It was really clear, it was very capturing, it was very drawing attention. I really liked it. Yeah, it was really good.
Yes.
Hi everyone, I'm Casey.
Hi, Casey.
I also really liked your speech. Very minor, but maybe you were very loud throughout the whole speech, so maybe if you go in and out, we'll draw our attention more on certain parts.
Right. Kind of went to one level and stayed there, and so there was no emphasis. Yeah. Great point. Well, as you're going to sadly discover, Alan, flattery will get you nowhere. But let me deconstruct this speech. Thank you. Thank you so much. You started with this Harry Potter story and ended with it. So for most of the class that have read the Harry Potter series or etc., it was a good allusion and a good call and an interesting show of creativity of juxtaposing traditional roles. So that was okay. Your thesis preview was fine. You almost skipped the SIG statement. I would have rather had you, and I'm going to talk about some things that you could have said and taking out things that weren't really gratuitous and you shouldn't have said. But when you say it helps challenge our new beliefs, it opens up new ideas, you need to sort of say a sentence or two, well, how does that do that? I mean, for example, when you're on the debating team or when you're in a class, you're required to debate both sides. So you have to walk 20 miles in somebody else's moccasins, and maybe it's a side you don't believe in. And that develops some intellectual maturity, because suddenly you go, oh, wait a minute. If for the 102 class, for example, we do a fore and after opinion shift, and the opinion shift is rather dramatic after they've had 10 weeks of doing some reading that the mainstream media doesn't exactly promote. So, you need to say how and give people more tangible benefits. And I'm not so sure. There used this congressman, many of them are on the debate team, but that's not a very good recommendation anymore. If you're planning to go to law school, it's essential that you debate because we have an adversarial process. So some of that stuff should have been in there for selling it to them. Okay? Yeah. Your first reason, challenging your pre-existing notions of the world. Well, interestingly enough, the story you gave didn't challenge your pre-existing notions of the world. You held on to them very tight. And I think a better story that I would have liked to have heard was stories that I get all the time from people at the end of 102 that say, gee, Professor Miller, I just, assumed that X, Y, and Z, and I really appreciate that you didn't force anything down our throats, you didn't care, but now I've listened to both sides and I've come to a slightly different conclusion. And having that both sides debate and listening to it, that works. So if you're going to say challenges your own notions of the world, the best solution is it challenges them and then you slightly modify them to improve them, not you fight harder to keep them. On the Arnie Duncan quote from Barack Obama, you listed the 4 or 5 C's, and you talked about civic engagement. And to the extent that these skills are important to people, and I think that the communication thing is most important to people. It was a good piece of evidence that you found there for support of that, of some benefits for people. On your actions, I really kind of resent this easy A stuff.
It's to make the speech more lighthearted.
And it's another student asked me if they could advocate that my Comm 1 class be required of all freshmen, and I'm going, are you really trying to goose me up? Come on. This is don't BS a BSer. I've been there, done that, seen this. So anyway, the classes speak for themselves. People get good stuff out of. If you want to learn to debate, 102 or 104 is good. If you want to further develop your speaking skills, 103 is good. Okay, so I would have just put it that way, rather than appeal to people's laziness. After all, they tried very hard to get into this school, and they know this school is not going to be a cakewalk, and nor was this class or anything
No, it's
else.
102. I mean, it's really meant to be just lighthearted. I mean,
Your benefits were good. On your summary, you skipped the conclusion. There should be no doubt in this room that you should do this. So you can remember to have those distinct things: a summary, then a conclusion.
I want to say I did it.
Okay, well, we'll check the tape, and you can publicly be vindicated. And your tie back was fine. Unfortunately, you went way over, which was unfortunate. Now, I'm looking for canais. I don't see them.
You're right.
So let me just do one more thing quickly, Alan. Simple message, yes. What was unexpected?
Arguing that Draco Malfoy is eviler than Voldemort. That's ridiculous. It's not true at all either.
Good. Concrete, yeah. Credibility, pretty much. The emotional connection with your audience. How do you feel you made an emotional connection? Were you emotionally connected?
I was engaged, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. So it was a pretty connected speech. Did you? How were you consciously trying to make an emotional connection with the speech?
Well, that's kind of why I took a more lighthearted approach, because emotional doesn't necessarily have to be like, I feel sad, or I feel, even if it makes you laugh, if you feel like happy.
Absolutely, there's many emotions.
So,
sure.
I get criticized for it, and I understand, but it was also how I kind of brought them into the.
Okay, good. And then I thought you had some pretty good stories. So, and you told stories about yourself and stories of things that you've done, and stories about your debate career and a little debate, anecdotes. And so that was good. So you did a pretty good job, except going so far over time. Thank you. Okay. That will bring us to Olivia. Olivia Newton-John, yes. Here for Olivia. Hi, Olivia.
Hi.
How you doing?
Fine.
You need the green meanie?
Huh?
Yeah. Okay, step that way. Just one step that way. Yeah, good. Okay. The group is talking. One of the ways that you can get control of a group that's talking if they refuse to shut up, is to clear your voice, and that usually is enough. I've had students that have been very aggressive toward an audience that was talking, saying things like, "Quiet!" And what's wrong with that, Olivia?
I don't know. I'm not an aggressive person.
Right. It's kind of rude, and you're up there trying to connect with your audience, not alienate them, right? So we always want to do stuff that will help us bond, connect, be loved. Yeah. Okay, timer ready? Okay, Olivia's in the power stance. She's managing the tension, communicating respect non-verbally. Close that computer. Here's the second time I've had to tell you. Finding friendly eyes near the front and the center. Say your name, feel the love. Start your speech.
Hi, I'm Olivia.
Hi, Olivia.
I'm going to start off by asking all of you a question. Who in here think that it's okay for animals to be kept in such crowded spaces that they can't even move? Or being transported to the slaughterhouse in even worse conditions where many are conscious as they are skinned? Hopefully none of you. So there would be no problem in persuading all of you to become vegetarians. I will give you 2 reasons why all of us should become vegetarians and provide 3 actions that we can take and the benefits that will follow from these actions. If all of us become vegetarians, we will prevent the suffering from millions of innocent animals daily. The first reason why all of us will be better off in becoming vegetarians is because according to PTA, the world's largest animal protection organization, there are plenty of animals that face the threat of being treated badly animal farms.
Sorry.
And chickens and pigs are kept in such crowded places that they can't even move, and they can't even lie down comfortably. And
Down
cows
there.
are.
Tell them to shut up, too.
Should I keep on going?
Yeah, sorry.
And cows are kept by filthy shadows.
Mm-hmm.
And according to PTA, there are also a lot of animals that are genetically manipulated, so their body will grow larger. And some chickens even grow have so large bodies that they can't even move. And then, as they're transported in even worse conditions to the slaughterhouse, many of them are conscious while they are facing the hot water tanks of defeathering or hair removal. And some are even conscious when they're being skinned and shot. This makes me feel horrible and sad that we live in a civilized society of 2017 and we treat our animals in this cruel and horrible way. The second reason to why all of us should become vegetarians is because veggie options can taste just as good and they're also healthier for us. My proof for that veggie options can taste just as good is by fooling my skeptical dad. My dad thinks that it's nonsense to not eat meat. He says, why shouldn't we eat meat? We have always eaten meat and that is how we survive. And he is also very skeptical to the taste of veggie options. So I decided to fool him. So I cooked an lasagna made out of corn and lentils without telling him that it was a veggie option lasagna. And I saw him eat it and enjoying it. And as he took the second portion of lasagna, I asked if he liked it. And he said he loved it. So you guys should seen the look on his face when I told him that it was actually a veggie lasagna. So my dad is proof that veggie options actually can taste just as good.
veggie options are healthier for us as well, because research shown that animals kept at farms are fed antibiotics so they could survive in these unsanitary conditions. And according to CDC, Center Disease of Control, this can cause antibiotic resistance in us humans, and that is one of the most upcoming health threats in our society. And third, I want to present some actions that all of us can take. First, you all can buy a veggie cookbook. There are plenty of tasty veggie recipes, and if you can't find any, I can give you my appreciated recipe for my lasagna. And second action you can take is that you can incorporate veggie days, or even better, you can incorporate meat days, and then you can devote one day out of a week where you allow yourself to eat meat. And the third action you can take, if you feel like you just can't live without meat, you can at least make sure that you buy rightfully produced meat that is approved. And the benefits you will get from doing these actions is that you will have a healthier lifestyle, and you will save money because veggie options are cheaper than meat. And the best benefit of it all is that you will prevent suffering from innocent animals. So in summary, I've given you 2 reasons why you should become vegetarians, and I've given 3 actions you can take, and I've shown you the benefits that will come with these actions. So there should be no doubt in this room that all of us will benefit from becoming vegetarians, and that animals will stop suffering. So the next time you go to the grocery store and are about to pick up your meat, just imagine the horrible process of animal farms living in crowded spaces where they can't even move, being transported to the slaughterhouse where they are conscious as they're skinned. So keep that in mind.
Okay, thank you very much. Time?
6:10.
6:10. Ouch. Holy cow.
Hi, I'm Abigail.
Hi, Gail.
I really like your speech. I like your beginning, your intro, and the example you used of your dad. And you can tell that you're really committed to the topic too, so that makes me fun.
Yes, that was good. Yes, sir.
Hi, Gavin.
Hi, Gavin.
It was good. One thing I would say is just try to practice a little more, make sure the flow of the speech is a little bit smoother, and that would be the only thing I would say.
Okay. Well, gosh, I'm very sympathetic to your speech and to your cause, and I'm sad that you went so long and went so far over. And I think a piece of that has to do with your what?
The 6 minutes and 10s include the distraction, the first pause.
Okay, so I guess we won't count that as over. Okay, yeah. Ugh.
You're there, Alan.
They're fighting for you there, Olivia Newton-John. Okay, good. Yeah. I do think, though, that seriously, Comm, you could vary the pace and pick it up, and I think it's a piece of what he was talking about. That when you practice a few more times, you will know the speech better. And when I say practice, you can practice speaking it by talking about, first I'll ask rhetorical questions, then I'll have my thesis. And I'll say, there are 2 reasons and 3 actions and some benefits, and then I'll have a significant statement, and then say what you're going to say in a speaking out manner that way. Practice it that way so that you just know what goes on next and you can say it more in your own words. And I know that the language and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and
when
so
I
forth.
get nervous up here,
Yeah,
I like the
yeah, I know. I know you want to revert, and so I admire how well you're doing under the circumstances. So don't get me wrong, but it would be good if you could vary the pace and speed it up. And main thing is just to have some vocal variety: loud, soft, faster, slower on critical parts. Well, you want us to be vegetarians, and I guess I wish I knew what that meant. Does that mean no fish, no dairy? I think a definition would have been in order, or say what you mean, and so that could have been helpful. If all of us stop eating meat, we will prevent the daily suffering for millions of innocent animals. And, a cynic would say, what is a cow for but to eat? And what would your answer be to that?
Well, who is he to say something like that? What does he know about that? Or, like, you can't...
What did she say?
Who are we to say something
Yeah,
like that?
who are we to say? Like, what a cow's
Plain
purposes
devil's
are.
advocate, but yeah, okay. You see my point, though, that there, maybe your dad or some people say,
Also, the Bible says animals are things to us.
the Bible, yeah. Okay, good. Now, on your first reason, you quoted PETA. I'm bad, sorry. On your first reason, I not a big fan of PETA as a source. They have an interesting reputation. So I would just encourage you to find an alternative source to PETA. But nonetheless, there are other people that say the same thing as PETA. So you can find other sources, the New York Times, etc., that will talk about the suffering, the filthy conditions, etc. So, that's the first thing.
Not like true with their content, or what's wrong with it? I don't know, because I
Okay.
just looked it up that it was good.
They have, gosh, among scientists, they're considered quacks. They do things that are very outrageous to get attention, which may be good or bad. They often go into Beverly Hills and throw blood on women wearing mink stoles and other things like that. Do some reading, pro and con, on PETA, and you'll see what I mean. There are people that detail PETA's so-called transgressions, depending on your point of view. On the other hand, there are people that love PETA. They think they're the greatest thing since sliced toast. There are many actresses and so forth that are PETA supporters. Okay. Second thing I want to compliment you on is you used pathos very effectively in the speech and with your stories of the animals and how they're treated. And I thought that was pretty effective because you were very vivid. And this was, if this is going to be your speech, then you might as well use the built-in pathos in the topic, which is there. So you used it, and that was good. Your feeling, it makes me feel sad. I think we could have had a little bit more oomph from feelings from you and passion, so we had a stronger emotional connection. Your second reason, you gave us a story. There you tricked your dad. You made lasagna, and he loved it, and he didn't know he wasn't getting meat. So, one of the barriers, and one of the things that the Vegetarian Society and other people have done when they do their marketing research is they say, why wouldn't you be a vegetarian? What are your objections? And they listen very closely to people so they can try to meet them. And one of the biggest things is, I need meat and protein for energy and for good health. And Yeah, so they go, okay, well, we can answer that. You're not going to get good health eating a lot of red meat. And energy, and where am I going to get my protein, from a stick of carrot and a stalk of celery? Okay. You made the comment at the bottom of page 2, research shows. What research, where, when, how. If you're making an argument from authority, give us the authority and tell us where it came from and the date. Okay? CDC stuff was good. I liked the buy a cookbook and start this gradually. I thought that was very effective for your audience. I think that worked well. I don't think that the USDA is a stamp of approval of good treatment of animals, but look into it. I could be wrong, but I think they allow bad conditions. USDA, yeah. Benefits, good. Summary, conclusion, tieback, all good. You want to use the dynamic voice, be confident, and have a better flow in English. How'd it go?
That failed. The English part.
And you had a simple message, and it was what did you put in here that was unexpected?
I think the beginning. Treatment, horrible treatment of animals.
Okay. So what I want to remind you is always design in something unexpected to grab the attention of the audience. What do you need?
Students.
Oh. This one. Okay, and so emotion, you used great emotion and good pathos, and you had pretty good stories. So good job, a little long, work on your vocal variety, but a good job. Thank you. Okay, who does that bring us to? That brings us to Moses.
Let's get past that one. No, that's a negative.
He flaked? The big zero. Excellent. Okay, are there any other A's I missed? You went to the bathroom?
Isn't that his stuff right
No,
there?
this is Casey.
Casey. He was like dressed up over here.
Yeah, text him. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Okay, we'll wait a minute while his good friend texts him.
Do you want me to call him? Do you want to talk to him?
Yeah, I do want to talk to him.
Can I go? I'm a Dia.
Call Moses.
Okay, it sounds
Yes.
weird.
Yeah, you can go.
Of 310456452
Moses, this is Professor Miller. You're supposed to be giving a speech. Where are you? Okay, bye. Can you text?
Yeah, he just says, "What's up?"
Can you text him on my phone? Did you tell me I was
I have two evals in the back.
What letter?
D.
Okay. You take a step forward, please. Yeah, get that out of there. Good, 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 good.
Okay.
No, you told me to skip forward.
He's angry. I feel the power. Send it in that stance.
That's good. Okay. Abigail stands before you, managing attention, communicating respect, finding friendly eyes near the front and the center. Say your name, feel the love. Start your speech.
Hi, I'm Abigail.
Hi, Abigail.
Hey, can you put your phone away? How many of you thought I was talking to you?
Excellent.
How many of you would have actually pulled out your phone after, if I wouldn't have said that at all? A couple of you, right? At least I know a few of you would rather be looking through your phones than listening to me right now. I know I would. Yeah, I know I would be looking through my phones than hearing me talk right now. But point is, according to Sally Andrews, a psychologist at Trent University, phones are impairing our abilities in several ways. They're impairing our attention, they're impairing our memories, they're decreasing our sleep quality, and they're increasing our stress levels. Today, I want to persuade you to put down your phone and interact more with people. I will offer you 2 reasons why you should do this, and a couple of actions and benefits that will follow if you accept my proposal. Technology in today's world is advancing very quickly, and our phones are becoming very addicting. They are affecting us, like stated before, Sally Andrews states several things that impair our memory or attention, but this also affects our personal life, our school life, and possibly our future careers. So the first reason why I want you to put down your phone and interact more with people is that constantly being on your phone affects your communication skills. According to a research in 2013 by the Pew Research Center, being on your phone constantly decreases your attention span. Not only that, but research was conducted where it was shown that students that are more prone to use technology are also students who are more prone to use technology also have a bigger difficulty time interacting with adults. This is because the skills necessary to have a face-to-face interaction weren't developed fully. This is a huge problem, especially in the higher educational level, at a university level, because our communication skills are essential. They're essential to give presentations, to connect with peers, to ask professor questions, and for future interviews. The second reason why I want to persuade you to interact more with people and use your phone less is that being on your phone decreases your attention span. Aside from that, being on your phone also takes away a lot of time. My support for this is personal experience. I am at fault for constantly checking my phone, as many of you are too. This takes away a lot of time. It takes a lot of time away from me. If I were to add up all the minutes that I spend on my phone for an entire week, I could be doing so much. I would be really productive, but I'm not. This is a problem because I know a lot of us check our phones constantly when we're with friends, when we're at lecture, and when we are doing homework. This not only takes away a lot of time from us, but it adds unnecessary distractions and takes away experience from us. Now that I've told you 2 reasons why you should put away your phones and interact more with people, I will offer you 3 actions why you should do this. 3 actions that you can do to decrease your time on your phone. The first action will be challenge yourself and time yourself and see how long you actually go without checking your phone. This will make you put in some effort and actually try and engage more. The second action I would take is I would set boundaries and rules for myself, such as let me turn off my phone before lecture starts, let me turn on my phone before doing homework. I personally do this myself. I used to waste a lot of time just scrolling through my phone, scrolling through my feeds, instead of doing homework. But now I either leave my phone in a different room and I go do homework elsewhere, or I just completely turn it off. And honestly, it really does make a big difference. A third action I would do would be try to interact more face-to-face with your friends, or practice your social skills and go to Broom Walk and interact with other people and make friends. Once you've committed these actions, I can assure you that not only will you feel more productive, more active, but it will really help you in the long run. While people are stuck on their mobile devices, you can be better prepared for interviews or for your future career in general. In summary, I've offered you 2 reasons why you should drop your phones, not literally, but put your phones away, and 3 actions you can take in order to prevent using your phone so much, I guess you can say.
There should be no doubt in this room.
There should be no doubt in this room that putting your phone down for a while can really go a long way. So how many of you actually listened right now? How many of you actually took out your phone, or how many times did you look at your phone? I'm pretty sure most of you prevented looking at your phone or try not to look at it often, right? All because of the beginning, I know. But I know that you can go from 1 minute to another decreasing your bad habits, but it's worth a try. So I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want your professor, your future spouse, your future partner, or your future boss to constantly see you on your phone and just bring you down for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
546.
546. Okay, so, you'll be back by 2, okay.
I'm about to test it.
And they're all done? Okay, thank you. Okay, where are we? Are here? No?
I'm Malia.
Hi, Malia.
I really like your speech. I thought the topic was very relevant because you called a lot of people out. I know when I've given speeches, I've seen people on the front and I don't care because I know I've done that too. So I think that it was a very catchy opening as well.
Yes, it was. Improvement, please.
Hi, I'm Kiara.
Hi, Kiara.
I also really liked your speech. I think one thing that you could improve on is just thinking about what you're going to say before, because there were some times where you tried saying something and then changed your mind or tried to reword it. So just kind of figuring that out before you come up and do your speech might be helpful.
Good comment. I think that there were some fluency problems that you'll see tonight when you watch yourself on YouTube. Okay. Abigail, I liked your speech. I think it's a topic that needs to be done over and over again until people get the hint. I often wonder when you're getting knowledge and information and people are speaking important things, what is being texted that's more important? Oh, darling, I love you. Oh, you had a cute dress on last night. I don't know. Help me out. It isn't what's the meaning of life, right? Maybe I'm sounding like an old fart, but I'm cynical about the seriousness of the messages that are being sent during class, and it's really in some ways very disrespectful. So I think it's a great topic, and I loved your intro. It scared the living K-pop out of people. Everyone was going, oh, yeah, me? Yeah, she saw me, oh no! It was very good. The Sally Andrews quote from Trent University was good. Huffington Post lady talks about reduced sleep quality from Ariana Huffington, wrote a book on sleep, and she has a chapter on cell phones and other social media to not be used after 6 o'clock. She thinks it's stimulates your brain in the wrong way to not sleep. So this is good stuff and interesting. You talked about controlling your communication skills, and you cited the Pew Research Center in 2013. I agree with this, that people are having difficulty now just making conversation and talking to people or initiating a face-to-face conversation. And I think that's a sorry state of affairs, because you will need to do that in life, in business, and in the world. And you're not gonna text your way to the top, you know. On the decrease your attention span and waste time, I like your honest confession that you spend a boatload of time when you should be studying or researching, doing the phone and social media, and I thought that was a compelling confession and good support for your reasoning. Your actions were good. I'm not sure about brew and walk. You know, people are pretty much in a hurry walking down, but I know what you meant, and just generally talking to people somewhere, or join a club or something. Your summary was good, your conclusion was good, and your tieback was fine. Your kanai, you said, don't look at the floor when I forget what's next. Be more interactive, and avoid being too repetitive. How'd it go?
I'm not sure if I looked at the floor. I don't know if I did.
It's better, yeah.
Interactive, I think the beginning made it more interactive. And
Yeah.
it caused people to react. And then I think it was repetitive at times where I forgot part of my speech, so I just try to remember by repeating the previous statement.
What was said previously, and then that would pick it up. Yeah, I know. I've done that too. I think that the speech, you had a pretty simple message, although I think you could have worked a little with the title of it to make it a little more catchy than put down your phone, because that's pretty drastic, but reduce your phone use or something. What was unexpected?
The beginning. I wasn't really looking at, I tried not to look at one specific person because I don't want him to feel like I was targeting him, but I just randomly looked at her, and so yeah.
She was busted, huh?
No, she wasn't even on her phone, that's the thing, she wasn't even on her phone.
Yeah. Okay, and your credibility was...
the personal experience.
Personal experience was good, and you cited evidence and the dates, so that was good. How did you try to make an emotional connection with your audience with this speech?
I think the emotional was more of a try to connect with them, because I know we all do it. It's not just like them, it's like all of us. So you were including yourself, and that's how you felt you made the emotional connection? Yeah. Okay. It's an important thing to do, and then you had stories and stories, so that was good. Okay, well, you did a good job. I think that if you practiced a few more times, you would not have to be so, at times, slow and ponderous, and you could just have a lot of variety and get right through it. So, thank you. Okay, what's the story on Moses?
He has not returned.
He apparently had a meeting. He said he was going to talk to you. He said he was going to contact you.
Our work is done, ladies and gentlemen. Thank